Joe,
Sam.
here we are.
Yep.
I wanted to talk today about improvisation and how you can convey that, how you learn that, how you convey it to your students. And, I just wanted some opinions, how you go about it, with your own students. I got my own ideas that I learned from Joe Morello. I had this crazy idea that, when I was in college, that once you reach a certain point in your playing, that you automatically can improvise. I had this idea, but I realized that's really not the case at all. I mean, it's something that needs to be practiced, and it just doesn't come all of a sudden just because you're at a certain level of playing.
Right.
It's a whole different bag. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a great question. I get it a lot from the students when they're reading a chart, say a big band chart, and it says 8-bar solo, 12-bar solo, extended solo. They look at me and go, "What do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do." So what I get the students to listen to jazz, listen to other drummers, how they go about it. It's not just playing licks.
Right.
It's not just playing your favorite lick as fast as you can.
Right.
It's really start out keeping it very simple. One of the things that I'll talk about is if you're playing a jazz swing time and going into the solo, continue with the jazz swing time going into the solo. Don't make it complicated, but you start out small. And as we have talked about before, you don't have to get real deep into your technical speed and those kind of things. Make it sound musical. So when you listen to like a Max Roach play, again with Clifford Brown, and you hear him play, he plays very melodically. He uses eighth notes between the snare drum and the bass drum. So it's so musical.
So musical and melodic.
And melodic, very melodic.
So that leads to my next question. I mean, I feel when I take a solo, I think of the melody of the tune. I'm not thinking about all a crazy lick that I'm going to perform and do all kinds of different ways and whatnot. I may do that at the very end of something, but mostly through it, I'm thinking of the melody of the tune, like "Bye Bye Blackbird."
Right.
And there you hear the melody. So Joe Morello always told me to think of the melody. Another thing he told me is that I should start out with simple notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, and rests, and just do that for like a week. Nothing but that, and that gives you a real chance to explore just those simple ideas, and confine it in a small space like 4 bars. So trade 4s with yourself.
Right.
And it does make you get creative with just those kinds of notes. Then the following week, maybe add triplets, eighth note triplets, quarter triplets. Do that just for a week, so you have those, you add on that. And then the following, you can add 16ths and 16th triplets as some spice to spice things up a little bit. And over time, I was able to develop fairly decent improvisational chops. But it was something that I had to practice.
Well, it's exactly it, because you want to keep it musical. I remember you and I were at the University of Miami for these percussion symposiums years ago.
The Ludwig Drum Symposiums.
And I remember hearing Joe use that same idea, taking a very small rhythmic seed, if you will, and growing it into a really nice musical solo. But interestingly enough, he hit the rim when I think he wanted to hit the snare drum.
Exactly.
And so he made this whole solo based off of that.
I remember that. We were sitting right in the front.
Right there. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
And he said he cursed or something. He was upset with himself. He hit the rim, but he made the whole solo on rims.
Right. So that was like a very big moment for me to go, wow, like, he's a guy that all the chops in the world, yet he took a very simple idea and made it into something very, very beautiful, very musical, very percussive at the same time. So those ideas are important for students to learn and to grow their solo melodically, musically,
Mm-hmm.
and that's ultimately, I think, the goal.
Right. And again, I can't stress enough that it's something that needs to be worked on all the time, because a lot of kids, they come to their teachers, me and you know, with their regional auditions, and the chart will say solo. Oh, what do I do? And that only happens maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, it's not something that you spend, the kids are spending time on, because, you know, they only get this one thing, you know, this audition comes once or twice a year, and that's it. But if it was worked on more, you know, throughout the year, every week, okay, let's trade fours, and you know, maybe let's trade eights, then maybe let's trade 12s, you know, let's do 12 bar
Right.
chorus.
Right.
And then maybe a 32 bar, because Joe used to say to me, you know, hey, play a tune, you know, for me. And there was no music, you did it in
Right.
your head.
Sure.
You did
That's
it in your
exactly
head.
it.
So, and that's the other key. If you think of the tune, you can really become more creative and thinking about the melody. You know, people say to me, Sam, can you play a solo? Can you play a solo? And I say, well, I'll play a tune. I'll play a tune.
Right.
And that can be my solo.
Sure. Sing the tune while I play. Here's the tune. Sing the tune while I play. You'll hear it.
Yeah.
You'll hear it.
Yeah.
The idea of using quarter notes and eighth notes, as students learn to develop those around the drum set, then suddenly you can do quarter notes and add quarter notes in the bass drum.
Right.
Eighth notes in the bass drum as well, between
Absolutely.
the hands and the feet. So now your playing becomes linear, if you will.
Absolutely.
And that's
You know, a lot of my students will continue to play their bass drum, you know, four
Right.
on the floor
Right.
while they're playing around the drums. And I say, try to make the bass drum part of
the solo.
of the melody,
Yes,
instead of
exactly.
just playing it as a rhythm.
Exactly.
Make it part of the melody, like it's a surface drum. And then that really expands their vocabulary.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And after they keep practicing it, they'll start to get it. We can put a tune on, and I say, all right, you have that song now. Sing the melody while you play.
Right.
Sing the melody while you play, and I'll follow. Because the band's going to follow, and they're know when to come in.
Absolutely.
As you're playing that solo, because they have the melody in their head as well.
Exactly.
So that's always the goal. And when it happens, they feel like they've made some music.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Good.
Well, this is great, Joe.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Fabulous.
Enjoyed it.
Great.
Great.